Shit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC UPenn's finest, Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. We got another great episode for you guys. Oh my god. But we're talking about the NFC West today. This is our second to last division prediction. We are a couple days late due to scheduling mix-ups, but we're recording this on Friday. It's getting out on Friday, so you'll have something to listen to until like Wednesday or Thursday when we do our last one. But the NFL fastly approaching. The best division? I don't know about that. One might say we're doing the best division today. One could argue. Depends how you think about the other teams not named the 49ers. But I just want to remind you guys, please, if you're new, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, please leave a 5-star like and review and download the episode if you really liked it. We really appreciate it. But I guess without further ado, Danny, Summits, Plummets.
Yeah, so I was just telling Chris before the show, you might have stepped away. I will be going away 3 or 4 weekends. So this weekend I'm going to New York. Next week I'm going nowhere. But then I'm going to Atlanta for the Steelers game. And then week 1, excited. And then the weekend after that, I'll be in Erie for my girlfriend's white coat. And then a few more weeks go by, and then I'm back out to Pittsburgh for Steelers Cowboys, Sunday Night Football.
Wow, yeah. Mr. Worldwide.
When the worldwide is really just Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's about worldwide.
It's East Coast wide.
Yes. Well, you go to Atlanta, that's the equivalent of going to a foreign country, so.
Yo, what do you mean by that?
I mean that shit just happens in Atlanta.
Certainly does. Bad things happen in Atlanta.
You're gonna pull up in a pair. You're gonna pull up in a pair of sweatpants. They're gonna strip you down and make you put on the skinniest jeans you ever seen in your life.
Dude, I wouldn't put it past it. Atlanta is like the most cultured city probably in America.
Dude, they're gonna hear you listen to like Morgan Wallen in the car. They're gonna break into your car. They're not gonna take anything. They're just gonna plug their phone up so you're just gonna listen to Gunna Amigos on your way to wherever you're going.
That's my type of car ride.
You're listening to Thugger for 3 hours now.
I'm not gonna lie, they probably like Lil Morgan Wallen down in Atlanta.
Maybe the people who visit Waffle House at like 11 a.m. and not those people that are like drunk in the Waffle House at 2 a.m. I was one of those people once upon a time when we were down in North Carolina, but South Carolina. All the same.
You were drunk in the Waffle House at 2 a.m. at 16?
I wasn't drunk, but the workers might have been. Not sure. I didn't get my hash browns. I didn't get my like all-star thing. And so like we were about to leave. I was like, yeah, I'll just take it to go. Like whatever. It wasn't that late though. At least I don't remember it being. But
all right.
Something horrible happened to your life, so say it.
Something horrible is that Justin Fields and Russell Wilson both look like they stink.
So we have this backup over here in Philadelphia. He's
even worse, man.
Pick. Sure, you don't
talking about Jahan? Wait. The backup you're talking about is not Jahan Dotson, former first round.
No. We were talking about Mr. Pickett, but we also have another cool quarterback, right? He has aura, and his name's Will Greer.
He's not making the roster either.
He has aura though.
Does he have the aura of Tyson Bagent though?
No, Bagent might get cut. He played the worst out of all 3 quarterbacks last night.
I know,
Bagent probably won't get cut.
Very much aura though. Has a lot of aura.
So much aura. But
I think because Caleb's a rookie, they'll probably just keep 3 quarterbacks around just in case.
And I think that Justin Fields playing bad, quote unquote, because they're not finishing drives is a little bit of an overstatement though.
They punted like 8 of his 12 drives though, so take that for what you will. That's more than just
Take it-
not finishing drives.
Yeah, I agree. But I think he is clearly the winner of this quarterback camp battle. If I was a coach. But like Tomlin
I don't
keeps
have a
saying,
winner.
Russell Wilson has a stronger body of work.
Right, because he's ancient.
Yup.
No,
That's
duh.
exactly why.
Because he's ancient. But he hasn't put together a good football season in like 4 years.
Since
And
Andy
those
Reid was almost a coach in Philadelphia.
people will look at last year's numbers where he threw like 27 touchdowns, like 6 picks, something like that. I'm like, dude, that's just 2018 Carson Wentz. Like, I promise you.
Now, I'll tell you something.
And
One of my first games I've ever been to as football games was Russell Wilson versus the Eagles, and I swear to God, he was the best quarterback on the planet.
they can't contain him at all. I don't think the
could not.
Eagles have ever beat Russell Wilson.
Dude, this was like 2013 Russ, though. This is like 2012 Russ when he
At
literally
his
was just
at his
stiff-arming
peak
him.
mobility. Yeah,
Yep.
we were playing. Mark Sanchez started at quarterback. Yep, I remember.
It was a December game, cold game.
Yeah, it sucks. I think we were like 9-6. I think we just needed to win like 2 of the last 3, get in the playoffs or something like that. Blew all 3 of them. It was tough. But shout out to the Sanchez. He gave us a cool Thanksgiving game that year.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick it over to Chris to take any negatives. I think we know what his plummet of the week is going to be. Told us yesterday.
Oh yeah, well that's just living in Dallas, so it doesn't matter. It's just my life now since I want to move
Comes
to
with the territory.
the glorious city of Chicago, the glorious, wonderful, windy city. It's my fault that the electric power lines run on shoestrings, and if you sneeze too loud, it will knock the power out, and you won't have power for hours. So thank God for Texas, yay! But I'm gonna start with a summit because in just 4 days. In the big 2024, I will be turning a new age. I'm not going to say it, but the number is Klay Thompson's new number and Reggie Miller's old number. So if you know sports, I am ancient and washed, bathed, if you will, dry cleaned, everything. I'll be 31 on Tuesday, and I'm excited about that. But also, yeah, just excited, honestly.
Yo,
well, I'm ancient.
I got a perfect. Post a clip on your birthday post.
Mm-hmm.
Post Steph Curry hitting the N1.
Oh, I'm 31. No, I have one. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all when we get off camera. We get off. I'm gonna show you. I have a shirt made, and I think it's really cool. I'm gonna show y'all out there. But that's my summit that I'll be turning 31 on Tuesday.
At the end of the birthday post, you have to or caption the birthday post. Don't let me turn in 31 distract you from the fact that the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead.
I'm going to. That is literally going to be in it 1,000%. So, that's my. I'll do a double summit. So that's my summit, my first summit, and my double summit is I was in San Francisco early this week, Sunday through Wednesday,
with Steph Curry.
Yes, awesome. With Curry and the Lester Quinones, Jordan Poole 2.0. Remember I told y'all. But yeah, that was cool. No. But the Martians got a death being pointed down. I am not choosing Iguodala, unfortunately. But yeah, it was cool to be out there Monday through Wednesday. We did a Golden Gate Bridge tour. We did a tour like on the water that it was like an hour and 10 minutes, I think. And we went past Alcatraz, went past the bridge again, went past a bunch of stuff. So it was really cool to see the city from the water view. It's real cool views, real cool vibes. Very windy on the water, and San Francisco was it was 58 degrees out there, which was a little different than people probably expect me in Cali, but it was really cool. But the streets in San Francisco are awful. It's 1,000 hills going up and down, and it's 1 million cars trying to fit on the street that's this big. Not my favorite thing to do, but it was really cool. And Chinatown in San Francisco looks really cool. Really cool. Like the ambiance there is really dope, and it bleeds right into downtown. So you can literally walk from a tunnel that literally brings you to Chinatown, and then at the end of the tunnel it brings you right back to downtown. It looks totally different on the other side. So real cool to see the city from that side for sure.
That's pretty dope. Speaking of sightseeing, I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I said this to them before. we record. I am going to New Orleans for Eagles Saints over yonder in September, so that'd be pretty dope. If I had to have a plummet though. The Eagles we got to stop trading day 2 capital for unproven big names. We got to stop doing it. I hate being that guy. Every time the Eagles make a move, people are like, how he did it again. And like, I'm a big Eagles fan. I don't want to seem like I'm pandering to the rest of everybody else. Even the Saquon deal, I had to text them first. I'm like, I can't believe we just gave a running back $40 million. But I'm like, you know what? It's Saquon. I'm going to pump the brakes. It's Saquon, Penn State legend. I love Saquon. I'll let this slide. And then we signed like Devin White, and people are like, yeah, like that. I'm like, dude, he got benched last year. Like, he's a bad player. And then who did we sign? I can't think of who we signed, but traded for Pickett. And it's just like, dude, you gave up a top 100 pick for Kenny Pickett. That's bad. That's so bad. I don't care what we got back. I don't even know why we wanted him. I don't even know why. And then now Jahan Dotson gets traded to us. Jahan Dotson has, like, of all the reports I've heard about him, he's only been having a horrible camp, and he couldn't beat out Olamide Zaccheaus for the wide receiver 2 spot. So, and then he couldn't beat out Curtis Samuel last year for the wide receiver 2 spot. So now he's gonna come over here. So and you gave up a 3rd round pick. So
yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah. I saw the perfect tweet. It was like, quote, another Howie masterclass. It's just him trading good draft capital for a big name. Which, yeah.
I will say I don't really. I think it's a fair trade. You got an ex first round pick with 2 years remaining on his contract. It's not a rental. The Eagles don't really have bodies at wide receiver beyond AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. They had Johnny Wilson. They got Aeneas Smith. But beyond that, John Ross and Paris Campbell.
Campbell is like the lead of that pack, so I don't know why you mentioned him last.
He is. But I think like all those guys, John Ross is unretired to come to the Eagles. And then the other guys are all rookies. So bringing in a 3rd-year player that could have potential spark, it's not the worst.
Yeah, he's not going to find a potential spark behind 2 of the 12 best receivers in the NFL. And then on top of that, former 1st-round pick, except I think he should have been drafted behind the pick we gave up. I think he was a 4th-round player coming out. I didn't like too much about his game.
I think he was a 2nd-round player coming out.
Well, from what we've seen from him so far, I would be right and you would be wrong because he hasn't played like a 2nd-round pick.
Coming out, he was amazing. Yeah.
Coming out, he really wasn't. Not gonna lie, his physicality was like at a 0. Like, could not handle any type of bump, any press, anything like that. Was known to drift his routes over the middle and down the sideline to essentially avoid yak. So I don't know. I'm so lucky that the rest of our offense is loaded, but none of them can really get hurt or things are gonna get bad. On every single episode, you will see me wearing some kind of hat, whether it's a snapback, whether it's a dad style hat. I always got to have something to complete the outfit. And the only place where I get my hats is lids.com. Lids.com has so many different brands. And of course, they have a bunch of different styles. Like I just said, it could be dad hat, snapback. It could be fitted. It could be Velcro back. Whatever you want, they got it. And with the NFL season coming up, I know you're going to want to rock and represent your favorite squad. Me personally, I'm a big Eagles guy, and I love this 47 brand throwback hat that I got from lids.com. Or if you're more of a snapback guy, I also got this NBA champions Boston Celtics new era cap from lids.com as well. If you like either of those hats and you feel like you want one to represent your squad, click the link in the description below. Whether it's new era or 47, both links will take you right to lids.com. And the best thing about Lids, they always have some type of deal going on their website. So make sure you click that link and check out any deals they got going on at lids.com.
Will Shipley season on the way.
Facts. But we can move on to an actual good football team the 49ers, who their win total is set at a ridiculous 11.5. Except it's not ridiculous because it's the 49ers. I guess
What did Trap House Sports say when they lost Super
I don't.
Bowl?
I don't remember. I don't follow that page religiously. Oh, you're talking about that
The
song.
song.
Well, he's a Cowboys fan, so he can't talk. But yeah, so the Niners are at 11.5. I guess notable news with them. It's not really about additions and losses. Ayuk saga is still going on. Trent Williams saga, which has been like the sideshow to the Brandon Ayuk thing, even though I think the Trent Williams thing needs to be focused on probably more. I think only Ayuk's getting the attention because like he might be traded. Trent's not getting traded. Trent's just like, I want my money.
He said, "Give me my money."
Give me my money.
And the Niners are
they were like, yeah, they everybody at Kittle, Debo, Bosa are all like, give me my money, and they get the clap, and then Trent's like, give me my money.
Ayuk's getting the same treatment.
No, they offered him money, and I'm pretty sure they upped the contract too. He's just indecisive, and honestly, I get it. So
man, Washington just opened up a free spot out there. Is all I'm saying.
All I'm saying.
Doesn't move me though, because that team's still a bottom tier team in the league.
I mean, like, but let's talk hypotheticals. Let's say they get Ayuk and don't have to give up McLaurin, which look highly unlikely, probably like no shot of happening. I mean, I gotta put a little stake in like Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year, right? Like just a little bit, just a teeny bit.
I think what you would do is you take that now, so the odds don't change before.
Right. You're cooking. Also, want to throw in some Malik Neighbors, Rookie of the Year, just a little bit. I know his quarterback sucks, but just a little bit. Okay, back to the 49ers though. Danny, 11.5 for the reigning NFC champs. If you want, you can talk about a world without Brandon Ayuk and a world with Brandon Ayuk. Even though I think we kind of know a world with Ayuk, I think we know what's happening. But floor is yours.
I'm going to speak more to the world with Ayuk. I think with Ayuk, I think they probably win like 12 games.
Yeah.
I think that they actually go under without Ayuk. And I'll give a reason why. So Christian McCaffrey is the heart and soul of this offense. As much as you want to say, oh, it could run through Debo, it could run through Kittle. No, it runs through Christian McCaffrey. They're going to run this power offense. It ran through when Raheem Mostert was the running back. He literally broke the all-time playoff rushing record in the game. Yes, Raheem Mostert. So,
as Raheem Mostert. Who else was he supposed to
be? Dude, this team relies on power football. They allow hitting the edge, sealing the tackles and tight ends are going to work up and seal the outside linebackers. And then they run play action and they run boots and everything off of that, which really, really works for Shanahan. But if McCaffrey's calf injury is worse than you think, or Elijah Mitchell really has, I think the Niners' 6 best players have been not practicing in camp. They have the most injuries out of any team. They have 26 guys injured out of their 52-man roster, 53-man roster now, I guess, right?
Yeah, they're a little banged up.
They're very banged up, and yeah, you can be banged up in preseason, but you don't want to start the season banged up. You never. Yeah. It's hard to.
And those are reps. I get it.
Yeah, it's when you need to start the season fresh, because any football player knows you're not going to reach that same healthy level as you are at the preseason throughout a 17-game season. So absolutely. I think the Niners have an outstanding amount of talent on the team. I think Purdy is borderline top 10. I think he's closer to 15 though. And Kittle's one of the best in the game, right? Debo, he's actually not that great. I think he's a mid wide receiver. I think he's a good offensive weapon. I don't think he's that good as a wide receiver. But overall, I think this team wins 11 games. Still wins the NFC West, but I just think that they're taking a step back towards reality with the loss of one of the best wide receivers in the league. If he's gone.
Okay, so real quick, I get your point of like McCaffrey's the heart and soul of the team, which you are correct. I will say though, the Shanahan himself will tell you that. First of all, Deebo Samuel is still a good wide receiver. Like,
Yeah, he's good.
He's had
Not
1,000-yard seasons before. He's a really good wide receiver. But with Shanahan, and I think Chris knows what I'm referring to. It's like, all right, Kittle gets hurt, throw the backup tight end out there. Juwan Jennings gets hurt, all right, just plug another receiver. All right, Deebo gets hurt, you just don't throw another. We don't have a backup Deebo, so that's why they went on that 3-game skid that they did, because he holds a lot more importance to that offense in terms of drawing attention. Where's Deebo lining up? His pre-snap motion is insanely valuable, and it helps Brandon Ayuk a lot, who's going to be playing X or on the outside. So yeah, defensive coordinators they fear him, and I respect that about Deebo, because I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't think he's a top tier wide receiver, but I think he's really good. I think he's a really good wide receiver still. I would probably still say like he's a top 20 receiver, but as an offensive weapon, it's so hard to gauge his importance.
Yeah. I think
or it's easy to gauge, but like the limit, like how important is he? It's like, in a positive way.
I'll tell you something. I'll take
It's up
Tyler
there.
Lockett as a wide receiver over him, but as an offensive weapon, I'm taking Deebo all day.
No, I take Deebo as a receiver. And this, I guess, my one way to fall back on it is yards after catch.
How about JSN?
Well, JSN got to prove himself, but after this year, talk soon. But it's just that, like Lockett, I respect the slide thing, and that's one of his greatest gimmicks, and that's cool and all. But Debo's gonna.
That's funny. That's so funny.
Come on, Debo has a play out of Marshawn Lynch's book. Run through a motherfucking face at any chance he can get. And on top of that, I think people sleep on Debo's speed. I'm not gonna lie. I watched him against the Eagles. Dude took a 40-yard screen to the crib, and he wasn't even touched. It was great blocking, but no one was even close. He was ridiculous. But yeah, I'll go to Chris, who, as a big fan of Netflix show Receiver, has got to see the inside depths of Kittle and Debo's season. What do you think for the Niners? 11.5. Can they do that with or without Ayuk? What are you thinking?
I think 49ers are one of the 3 best teams in football. When fully healthy and win all the way right. But I mean, it's football, wins everybody fully healthy. But I'll say it's hard. 12 wins is a lot. 12 is a lot. And I think you need all your pieces there. I think you need everybody there solidified, locked in with reps. And I think that's what you guys both mentioned. I think it's most important that top guys are missing reps early on. And what Danny said too, you're not going to be any more healthy than you are right now. So I think that's going to work against them. So I don't think they're going to win 8 games or nothing like that. But I think 12 may be just a tad high. I think they're more 10, 11, even with Ayuk staying. It's just regression just sets in at some point. And I think those reps are going to matter later on or in those games. Like, I don't think they can afford a 3 or 4 game slide and still win 12 games like they did, like last year, kind of how that happened. So I'd say under, but I think they still win the division. Like, I think they win 11. Like, I'll give 11. I think 12 is just a little too much for me. So I think they still win, but I think 12 is just a tad high.
I think there's a reality where they could win 10 games if some injuries go bad.
Yeah.
Like, looking at their midseason schedule, they have the Chiefs, the Cowboys, a bye, the Bucks, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Bills, the Bears in Week 14. Who, let's not sleep on them in December. The Rams again. Of course, we got the Niners, but let's not sleep on them. And then the Dolphins, and then Lions. So that is
we're sleeping on the Bears when it comes to if they're playing the 49ers. I mean, that's like a matchup made in hell. Oh, dude, they played in a monsoon. It was, yeah, dude, shut the hell up. They lost a few years ago. Shut the fuck up.
All right, but anyway, that part of the schedule does not look promising. It's the gauntlet for the Eagles.
There is no such thing as the gauntlet for the 49ers, especially the regular season.
I think we'll see.
There's no such thing. You have to roll out. Name those teams again.
Cowboys, Chiefs, Seahawks, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, Bills, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Lions.
None of those teams on paper are better than the Niners. Now they're going to lose to the Chiefs because Mahomes is like, it's like when you
Cowboys to
line
beat
up
them.
two. It's like when you line up two basketball players, and it's like, well, said player is better at scoring, but everything else belongs to this guy. It's like, well, have you taken into account the other dude is like the best scorer of all time, or whatever it may be? Like that's Mahomes with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think Mr. McDonald might get a game this year on the Niners.
That's
On the
possible.
Seahawks.
That's possible. I could see the
Chris
Seahawks
knows-
taking a game for because look, the Niners aren't going to go 17-0. Like on paper, they have the best roster in the NFL. They're not going to go 17-0. But I'm also
legend Ricky Pearsall.
on a
stinks.
week to week basis. Like here's the thing: when we a couple years ago when we were doing the Chargers prediction, it's like on a week to week basis. I don't see them losing, but that's also like the worst possible way to gauge a team's record for the upcoming year.
Man, shout out to Kyler Murray. He could even take a game from the Niners this year.
All right, man.
He every year of his career, he's given them hell. He's been the only team.
Well, he got his ass blasted last year. How about that? He got his ass blasted last year, and threw a pick 6 to Ward. So there's that. I have the over with or without Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk is great. I'm not saying he's replaceable. He's one of the top route runners in the NFL, one of the best blocking receivers in the NFL. It's almost like a maxed out prime Klay Thompson as like a 3-and-D player. He's just a little bit better than that, though, in his respective league. And even without him, yeah, it's going to be tough. You're going to be relying on Debo a little bit more. Obviously, going to be relying on an older McCaffrey, which so glad I don't have the first overall fantasy pick in whatever drafts I'm having. But
you're forced to take McCaffrey, no matter how much you think that CD Lamb's going to do better than him. You have to take McCaffrey.
No. I'm actually woke, and I'm going against the grain.
You're going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown number 1 or something.
Yes, just utter woke nonsense. Going against the grain.
Don't listen to the woke mob.
Speaking of which, just gonna plug this real quick. We'll probably be doing our fantasy draft, our Sideline Summit fantasy draft live show sometime like Tuesday or Wednesday next week. All the invites have been sent out, so if you're watching this, you haven't joined, please join. But yeah, we'll be going live for it. I'll probably screen share my screen, so I don't really put players in the queue like that. I make all my picks, so you'll get to see who the hell I'm drafting and the whole draft and whatever it may be. So make sure you tune in for that. We'll probably post something for that as well. Back to the 49ers, though. I think McCaffrey, Kittle, Samuel, Juwan Jennings. I got a lot of respect for Juwan Jennings. I think that's a good enough group to get you to 12 wins in the regular season, alongside Brock Purdy, who, like Danny mentioned, borderline top 10 quarterback. Ever since he's made his first start, is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL.
Dare I say, Juwan Jennings is the next Gabe Davis.
Who is Gabe Davis, though?
Playoff masterclass.
I'd rather have Juwan Jennings than Gabe Davis.
I would too, but
that is just me.
Playoff masterclass and then a fall off the face of the earth.
Nah, Juwan Jennings had several like huge catches against Green Bay and Detroit, and then had that baller game in the Super Bowl. So not always there when you call, but always on time. You know what I mean?
I mean, Davis was there down the stretch, but for sure.
Davis is ass.
He's not good.
Not a good football player.
Brian Thomas is going to be 100 targets this year.
You know, he knows.
I was not a fan at the draft, but now I am.
We're here on Brian Thomas. Okay, so Danny, are you gonna go with the world where they have Ayuk or the world where they don't have Ayuk?
I went under.
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
Chris.
I'm just making sure.
I think at this point we have to assume that they're without Ayuk.
But you're assuming they still win the division, though, right?
Yeah, I think they still win the division.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
think 11 wins this division. It's very competitive, but I think the problem is Ayuk could sit out. I don't think he will, but I think he could sit out. Like,
It's possible. It's possible. I don't think he'll sit out long though. If he does,
no, I think it's going to be sit out, and he's going to be like, they're going to be like, well, are you staying here or not? And he's be like, all right, trade me.
yeah, yeah, it could get to that point. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams. Y'all would have never. I was literally about to say the St. Louis Rams. I have no idea why.
St. Louis, man. Shout out to him, Jeff Fisher.
No, not don't shout out Jeff Fisher. Shout out Jimbo Fisher though. Um, so with the Rams, they lost their defensive coordinator to Atlanta. They lost arguably the greatest defensive player of all time to retirement, which sucks. Because he was like really like holding the whole thing together on defense along with the defensive coordinator. So it's kind of like, those are huge losses. Of course, hopefully you can get I don't want to say a full healthy year because it's hard to say with Cup at this point, but you still have Stafford, Cup, Nakua, Kyron Williams, who finished the year incredibly strong. The offense is there to for a lack of a better term. It's there. It's going to be really good. But I have to ask Danny, I mean, how much do you trust this defense? Can the defense be good enough for the Rams to get 9+ wins?
Yeah, I love a lot of their offseason moves. They signed Darius Williams, Cameron Curl, Jonah Jackson. He went to Pencrest, if you didn't know that.
Who?
Jonah Jackson.
Really? Wow. Shout
Yeah.
out to him. Delco legend.
Yeah, Kevin Dotson was re-signed. So they brought in what's his name, Tre'Davious White as well. Tre'Davious White's not the greatest move at this point of his career, but if anyone can make something work with him, it's McVay. So here's the thing: their offense is going to put up 25+ points per game. I love McVay's system. I think Stafford is still an elite quarterback. Maybe he's not top 5, but I think he's still top 10 quarterback in the league. And it's undeniable. He's going to sling the rock. He's going to be efficient with it, and he's going to make his passes. Cooper Kupp and Mr. Nakua, I think they have a clone of him coming in the slot in Mr. Whittington out of Texas.
You don't just grow Puka Nakuas on trees, but I get what you're saying.
You don't grow these players on trees, but somehow McVay and the talent identifies top wide receivers that makes them get free releases off the line year after year.
Yep.
Because at one point they made Ben Skoranek look like a good receiver. So
translation, Kupp is a McVay
system
merchant.
receiver. He's a system wide receiver. Yes, he is. And
not better than Mike Thomas. Thanks.
He's a system
Thanks
wide receiver.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Cooper Kupp's a system wide receiver, and he owns it, and he loves it.
He owns it, yeah. If you own it, man, I can't even hate.
He's like, yeah, I love McVay. Hey, if you're going to say you're McVay's guy, you're McVay's guy. But I think the Rams made the right moves to replace what they've lost this season. In the draft, they went and got D-line. Probably not going to replace Aaron Donald, but if you're going to go get anybody, that's who they got. So I really like what they did. I think the Rams go over. I think this division is the only division in the NFL. Oh, and I mean, this division has multiple teams make the playoffs in that they have 3 teams make the playoffs. So really, really excited to see what they can do.
Chris, what are your thoughts on the Rams? Do you think that they'll be able to overcome the Morris and Donald losses? Is the offense strong enough for that? Is the defense, has it cleared enough gaps? What do you think?
I wasn't really high on the Rams last year. And the only reason I was really rocking with them as much as I was because they had GOAT Aaron Donald. So without him, I think they take a huge step back. But I do agree with Danny. I love their draft. Jared Verse is very good. And I think they did very
well versed.
That's what what I meant to say. It's very well versed. I like Jared Verse a lot. But I don't know. And it's not even Matthew Stafford, because he's cool enough. Like I think he's all right. I just don't know. I don't know if this team's that good. I just don't know. But I don't think they good like 6 wins, nothing crazy like that. But I think 8 or 9 is a pretty good realm to be at. So I'll take the under, but I'll take it at 8. And like Danny said, I think they're still decent enough. I don't know if they make the playoffs, maybe. But yeah, I got them at about 8 wins just because I'm lower on them. I'm sure I'll be proven wrong by week 7, but just as of right now, from what I've seen and what I've seen in loss, I don't know if they're that good, just in my opinion. So I'd go under the 9.
So originally I had under. I did. But then Danny said the name Jordan Whittington, and it sent me back in time about 5 years. Did y'all know we share a birthday? That's pretty crazy. Jordan Whittington, because he was one of the best players, and I kept up with him like way back when because like I think he was thinking about going to Texas A&M, and then he flipped to Texas, and it's like, screw you, dude. But yeah, now the Rams are winning the Super Bowl, I'm afraid. But I do have like super serious concerns with their defense. Like it kind of gets to like name the good players type of thing. I mean, I think Kobe Turner, he was one of the guys that was, just racking up sacks alongside Aaron Donald last year. Like you guys said, they had a great draft. Taking a chance on Tre'Davious White can't hurt, but I don't expect too much from him. Cameron Curl, a super underrated pickup. I liked him in Washington like a fair amount. The defensive play calling was like really weird over there. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to go over. I'm going to change my mind. 9 wins. I don't know if that gets them to the playoffs, so I'll leave that TBD. But I think they can get 9. I mean, Stafford is good enough with, Kupp, Nakua, Atwell, Whittington. Tyler Higbee is a fine tight end, so you have that as
Blake
well.
Corum.
Facts. Blake Corum, who has, I think, a similar run style to Kyron Williams, so you can split the load there to, be as efficient as possible in the run game, which last year Kyron Williams wasn't like that efficient in the run game, but, they fed him. But now you can feed him and, one of the best backs in college football last year. But, yeah, I think Stafford's good enough to get 9 wins, though. I think what McVay really needs to do to unlock this offense is make Matthew Stafford start running triple option.
Yo.
Until his body breaks down. Stafford will do it. He's aged like fine wine. But yeah,
he's like
enough.
He's like Mr. LeBron James out in LA, aging like fine wine.
Something like that. It's something in the LA water.
The glorious 2024, we are putting Matthew Stafford in the same sentence with the King James. Oh, I'm out. I'm trolling.
I would say Stafford won a Super Bowl in that city more recent than Mr. LaMickey, I'm afraid.
That is true. Thank you.
Remember that time Solomon Hill fell on LeBron's ankle? Yeah, great times.
I hope Solomon Hill is doing worse. I hope he's doing worse
part
today.
Part of me died that day. All right, well, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks here. Seattle Seahawks had they started last year pretty on fire, I would say. Fell off towards the end due to defense, like just absolutely crumbled in a similar way to Philadelphia, even though they beat Philadelphia. But nonetheless, I think personally, I think Geno Smith can have a bounce back year. Because I think what we saw in 2022 is what, like, I think that's what Geno is. An extremely accurate quarterback, not afraid to put the ball downfield. And I think this year, with Mike McDonald helping out, the defense got the names. I think the defense has the players. It's just a matter of how are we going to use them? How are we going to put Reek Woolen in the best position, as a young corner? How are we going to get this elite, I think, elite front seven? How are we going to put them in the position to cover backs and tight ends while going for the quarterback as well? I I think Chris knows better than anybody. Mike McDonald is, the correct guy to do it. And then I think with a new offensive coordinator, you're going to get JSN way more involved. I think he could take the leap into that wide receiver 2 role to help an aging Lockett. I think he's a little bit more dynamic than Lockett at this point. He's not like as a vertical threat. I think like, after the catch, the route running, separation ability. I think JSN has all of those goods. And of course, DK Metcalf he's been one of the, again, a borderline top 10 receiver type of guy. He's been really good. When Gino's good, he's good. It's kind of that way. Chris, I want to start with you because Mike McDonald was your guy, and now he's going to Seattle with an uberly talented offense, a defense that's got names. Just needs it's a Lions who needs a head of the pack. What do you think for Seattle this year? I mean, 7.5 seems a little low if you ask me. But
I was about to say it seems a little bit low, but I don't know, man. I'm one of the guys who doesn't hate Mike McDonald for leaving. I get it, and I want him to do well. To be honest with you, and I think he's going to do well over there. And I think the Seahawks can get eight wins. I'm not saying they get 10, 11. I think that would be a little high, but I can see 8 to 9 for this team. I think they're better than the Rams personally. I do. I think they're better than the Rams. I believe in who they have over there a little more than I believe who the Rams have over there left. So personally, I'd say they go over. I'm interested to see what they do because I want to see DK this year. I want to see what he does. I want to see what Woolen does again. Like, another year in the NFL. Like, I just want to see like these guys' growth, and I want to see like if it happens like that, because they could easily to me get 8 or 9 wins, but if those guys don't grow and don't play well, they could be sitting around 5 or 6. So in my opinion, I think this is a pretty interesting team, and in knowing that, I'll give them the 8 wins. I think they can go over.
Fair. I feel that. Danny, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
as a former Quentin Johnston over JSN guy, what are you thinking?
I was also the same year said that the Seahawks are going to go to the NFC Championship. So and rightfully because of JSN's addition. So let's get the story straight.
No. We'll go back to the clip. You probably don't even say his name.
I said a lot of people's names in the clip.
I bet you didn't say his. You also said Quentin Johnson was going to be better. So, hey.
Quentin Johnston's breaking out this year. We'll see that next week.
Yeah. Oh, you mean next spring? Yeah, when he plays for, the
Rough Riders,
Battlehawks.
Yep. No. Anyway, Kenny Pickett and Quentin Johnston's about to hit hard.
Yeah, for the San
Toronto
Antonio
Argonauts,
like armadillos or something.
Toronto Argonauts.
Well, Kenny Pickett's going to be backing up that dude who said he's better than Mahomes.
Hey, respect that dude. Respect that dude, by the way.
I'm better.
Respect him, by the way. Did you see? I will say this.
I'm better than him.
I'll say this. He's obviously not better than Patrick Mahomes. Let's keep it real. Like that, he was smoking crack. He ain't better than me. But I will say though, he does look like he has some talent in his body. He not just. I don't think he's terrible. He look like he has some talent. And I will say that. But also, this is not a football player talking. I'm going to let the football players tell me if he's ass or not. But from what I see, I'm like, okay, this dude look like got some wheels. He can make a decent pass. But also, this is me coming from a person who quit in freshman year because I didn't like getting hit like that. So, this is his.
I respect you, Chris.
That shit hurt.
I clear that bum. So,
Dang, let me tell you.
Back to the Seattle Seahawks, though.
Yeah.
I think the Seattle Seahawks are going over this line because they have too much talent, and I love the coaching addition. I think the coaching addition is a clear upgrade over a geriatric Pete Carroll. He's on the verge of dying. People don't realize that. He's like 78 years old.
Oh, okay, man. Dying is a little much. No,
no, he's old. He's
pushing 30 and pushing death are two completely different things.
Yeah, he's closer to die than he is to being in his prime. So,
you're being a little dark here.
It's a little dark, but he's older. So having an old coach is never good. Like,
not true.
Blank. In the recent years, the old coaches have not succeeded. Other than
dude won a Super Bowl at like 70 years old. So, and Bill Belichick Bill Belichick had great grandkids when he won his last Super Bowl. So
Fair enough.
it just depends who you
Anyway,
are. It depends who you are, I would say.
it does depend who you are. But I will say, Mike McDonald's great hire. I think that their defense has made improvements. I like their corner room. I really, really like their receiver room. I think that DK, with anyone else out there, Tyler, not even just Tyler Lockett and JSN, Noah Fant, waiting on your breakout, man.
We're gonna be waiting a long time, man. But I'm with you. I'm with you.
The Noah Fant breakout is like Kyle Pitts, but like even longer.
I'll die on the hill with you, man.
He has all the talent in the world, but I think it comes down to Geno Smith. Comes down to, can Geno Smith be an above-average quarterback, and that question remains to be seen. They wrote him off, but he ain't right back. But since then, he did right back. He has been like pretty league average quarterback. He's not elevating their offense. I think if I was Seahawks, I would look into investing into the future at quarterback, honestly, as soon as this year, because Geno Smith is on the wrong side of 30. And we saw what happened last time they let a quarterback start for them on the wrong side of 30. Yeah, shipped out to the horses in Denver.
So I would say, even this last year, I don't even think Geno was that bad. I think I just watched probably the worst iteration of the Seahawks offensive line ever, along with the run game. Wasn't what you thought it would be, especially on the second year of Kenneth Walker, who I think he's bouncing back for sure. This offense is just so well versed, but the difference between them and the Rams, defensive minded head coach, even if the defense were their weaker side, they got all the tools. Sean McVay, no disrespect, he's an offensive guy, but he's a football nerd, so like he knows how to operate the defense. I trust Mike McDonald to do it just a little bit more, though. So I have the over. I actually have them getting double-digit wins. I'm a big fan of Geno Smith. He's incredibly accurate. I'm a big fan of DK Metcalf and JSN. I think JSN isn't just like they were using JSN as like a screen guy last year. I'm like, that's not JSN. Like, you know what I mean? So I expect them to make some decent upgrades, or to upgrade as a team, not make decent upgrades because that has come and gone. But yeah, I was like, do we have anything else about the Seahawks before we talk about the Cardinals? All right. Yeah. Now let's just go to the Arizona Cardinals, who will be our last team of the day. They're at a 6.5 line, and I think we're all pretty pro Cardinals here, but kind of in the situation of the Rams, where it's like, okay, the offense could be there, but what about the defense? To an extreme. I mean, like, count the good players on defense type of thing. But Danny, as co-founder of the Kyler Murray fan club, what are you thinking about the Cardinals?
I think this is a developmental year. I think Jonathan Gannon takes a leap. I think any amount forward is a leap for them. Let's just say, hypothetically, not even hypothetically, the Cardinals were a top 10 offense in the league, arguably, when Kyler Murray played in the back half. And this is without Marvin Harrison Jr. This is with a injured James Conner. This is with Amari DiMercado as their leading running back. So yes, the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a huge improvement this year. Can they win more than 6.5 games? The question remains to be seen. I think that they go just over and get 7. I think this team is going to be really, really fun to watch. More fun than people expect. I think Michael Wilson's sneakily good. I think Greg Dortch is a pleasant surprise that they didn't even expect to have. And Trey McBride is an elite tight end. I'm not saying, top 10 elite. I think he's top 5 tight end in the league. I think that he legitimately has potential to elevate this offense to one of the best in the league. But their defense does not impress me. Their defense needs so much work, and that's where it really scares me. The good part is they got a defensive coordinator, head coach, but that shouldn't move you that much.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to piss myself.
Chris, you can take over from here.
I think the Cardinals will be exciting. Exciting 5-win team though. Like, I think they'll be really cool to watch, really fun to watch. But I don't see them just having that success just yet. I think and this may sound crazy, but I think they're like on the Bears trajectory. Like they're getting their pieces together, and then like I think this year is like the year that the Bears got the piece that they really needed, and they added, Keenan Allen and so on and so forth, Swift and all those other guys to their quarterback that they drafted. Obviously, they drafted Marvin Harrison this year. They have their quarterback, and I think this year, as you said, Danny's more developmental than anything, and I think this just gives them another chance to be exciting 5-win team at another big first round pick next year, or in another good draft class as a whole, and hopefully make some moves in free agency. And then next year would be the time, in my opinion, that they break out and maybe be a 8 to 10 win team, if max out type of thing. But I think this year is more like an exciting 5-win team that you like. Okay, they're a couple pieces away, they're a couple defensive pieces away from being pretty good or being up to at least contend in this division.
Yeah, I like that. I think that they just have so much talent, dude, on offense. And maybe it's Glaze, maybe it's just Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison, but I think that they are a young group. I think that eventually this offensive unit will finish top 5 in the league.
You mean like somewhere down the road, right?
Somewhere down the road. I'm not saying this year. I'm saying in the next 3 to 5 years. I think
because they were top 10. They were top 10 last year. Back half of the year, they were top 10.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying, dude. I think eventually.
So, like, I mean, if you said top 5 this year, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, kind of similar to what you guys said. Okay, now I'm cooked. Now I'm making the case because I need you to at least see the vision. So they were a top 10 offense last year when Kyler Murray came back. The run game was as strong as ever with James Conner at running back, who, he's not burning you for 20 yards, but like after 25 yards, 6-yard carries from James Conner, you're like, dude, I'm so sick of tackling this guy. And on top of that, you have Kyler Murray, who's going to have a full, healthy offseason to get his run game back. We know he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL. And on top of that, you add Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think after this year, he's for sure top 10 receiver. Y'all know how I feel about them. I thought he was the best player in the draft. I think he's going to be one of the all-time greats. So adding those factors together, giving Kyler Murray a true number 1. You have Trey McBride, who I'm also very high on. I don't know if I'm as high as Danny, but high on him. Thought he had a really stellar season. You have James Conner running back. Kyler Murray almost operates as a third down-esque type of back or a change of pace type of back where, he's going to be a little bit more elusive, that kind of thing. They do have Zach Pascal as a receiver. Want to throw that out there. I think he's not game-changing, but he's going to do dirty work, and he's going to make a play every now and then. They also have Zay Jones, who, a couple years ago was a pretty solid receiver for Jacksonville. So you have Marvin Harrison Jr., you have Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, Trey McBride, Zach Pascal, Zay Jones. These aren't like the strongest names outside of like Harrison and McBride. Don't get me wrong, but like if any, I think Kyler Murray is that level of quarterback where he can work with a group like this to go along that run game. So I'm very excited for this crew. However, Kyler Murray gets hurt, they're screwed. Because their backups are Desmond Ridder and Clayton Tune. Shout out Houston legend, Clayton Tune. But
I just found a game. I'm looking through their schedule. Probably your favorite game ever you're going to watch on a Monday night. It's Chargers Cardinals, Monday Night Football. I'm going to be smiling at the TV like this. Whole time.
Yeah, let me not say.
Let me bookmark it.
Let me. He said, "Let me bookmark it." Let me not get my thoughts on that game right now. I'm not cheering for no defenses, but yeah, you get to their defense though. I mean, like, man, Budda Baker, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Max Melton. Shout out Max Melton, Rutgers legend, and probably like a Marvin Harrison handpicked dude. Like Marvin Harrison was talking about guys who like really gave him good work in college, and like he was like Max Melton. What was one of those guys? So I definitely have my eye on him. Linebacker core is not strong at all. I mean, Mac Wilson Sr., Kaiser White. who is a Gannon guy for sure. But like it's like, let's say you have a 60 overall defense, but you have a defensive coordinator or a defensive minded head coach. Okay, you go from like a 60 to like a 67 overall defense, just for like point reference. Not saying they are that bad, but they're a bad group. I think too, like what I was talking about earlier with the Rams, it's kind of just like great offense, horrible defense. Think the offense is just going to be a little bit worse, and then the defense is going to be like way worse than the Rams. I will say this. Here's my hot take. If they are the 16th best defense per EPA per play, or lower, like 15 or below, something like that, I think they'll make the playoffs. That's my hot take, but I don't think their offense is going to be that good. However, 6.5 wins, give me that. I got them for 7. This is we saw it at the end of last year, like that team that's like, hey, we're not playing for nothing, but we're going to ruin your season. That's what they did to the Eagles. So I look forward to this Cardinals team a lot. Chris, I don't remember. Did you say, you said under, right? You said they're going to be like that sparky 5-win team.
Yep. Yeah, I think 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see that too. I could see that too. The
like
defense
even like on some like they lose 2 or 3 games by 3 or less points type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see them being so close to 8-9 wins, but ending with 5 or 6, just because like being a younger team, you know, sometimes those vet teams just find a way to win at the end of those games. So that's kind of, I think they're just like one of those exciting teams that pushes all those teams to the brink every time.
I could see a 5-12 team from them, in which they go like 0-7 in 1-score games. So they'll have like a positive like plus minus on the year scoring differential, and then they'll like, you know, they're just horrible though. So while we have just a tiny amount of time, I wanted to talk about NFL preseason. Is there any names that are standing out to y'all? Is there anything? Just what have y'all seen, Danny? We watched Drake May the other night. Did you think of anything of that?
I don't think he did anything too like fantastic. I will say,
Really?
all of the rookie quarterbacks have been awesome. I don't think, not May specifically, but all of them in general have been good. Like whether you think of Bo Nix, let's start with Bo Nix. But whatever you think of Bo Nix, he's been good. JJ McCarthy got hurt.
Fine.
Take him out of it. Drake May has been showing that he whether his receivers are gonna make the play or not, he's gonna put the ball in the right spot. Jaden Daniels, he is kind of surprising me the way he's kind of like surgically throwing the ball. He's like they have him playing very, very much in structure, which I like. I like to see with him. They're not making him play out of structure. They're just letting him play in structure, and then if you need to play out of structure, I think that will let him thrive as a quarterback rather than just. He's not Caleb Williams. He's not run around, make something happen. He is Jaden Daniels. I'm going to sit down. He has a great arm, and I really love what they're doing. And Caleb Williams, dude. We all know how we feel. Chris has jumped on board the Caleb Williams hype train, and I think that Caleb Williams is going to break rookie records this year.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say about the rookie quarterback specifically, I thought Drake May was absolutely surgical against the Eagles. I thought he was wonderful. Is that more Eagles secondary or Drake May balling out? I'm not sure, but Drake May played better than Jacoby Brissett against same set secondary in the same game. So Gerard Mayo, what exactly are you gonna get for like starting Jacoby Brissett 4 weeks and then throwing in May? Like what does that do? I'm honestly confused on that one. Because like let's say Tom Brady was still here. Yeah, May's gonna sit. He's gonna learn from the greatest of all time. But it's Jacoby Brissett. How much is May gonna learn sitting on the bench watching him? Great vet, don't get me wrong, but like if Drake May's the type of guy where you think like, oh, he needs more game experience, or he doesn't, or he did have enough game experience in college, even though he started 2 full years, then he needs to play. And to be honest, I just think he's flat out better than Brissett like you said, it's kind of just whether the receivers want to catch the ball or not. Ball is going to get there. So those are my thoughts on him. Daniels, probably he's the most limited reps of everybody, besides like Penix, who just like flat out didn't play a game. Load management, I guess. Daniels in his reps has been efficient. His deep ball is as strong as ever. Almost got chewed out by Dan Quinn because he decided not to slide and he took a tackle. He didn't get destroyed, so we're making progress. He just got, a little, roll tackle, whatever it was. He was solid. Caleb Williams wasn't all sunshine and rainbows in that Bengals game. 3 and outs to start, no bueno. But, he makes plays. So he eventually makes up for it. They'll get things going when Keenan Allen decides to put the honey buns down. Apparently, Keenan Allen has gained 20 pounds this offseason. He's got the hard and fat suit on. He wants to go back to LA. He misses Herbert. He misses her caregiver, her contract earner. But so I'm not missing any of the rookie quarterback. Oh, Bo Nix. Doing his job. I'll put it that way. And there's not much more I can really ask for. He's doing his job. The first game, the stats lied. It was like 6 yards of completion. Like, it wasn't crazy. Next game, he looked a lot better. I like that one a lot. I don't like people posting on Twitter him throwing a 5-yard rollout flat route and being like, this is a tough throw. I'm like, all he had to do was throw it over the defender. And the guy, like, his receiver was right in front of him. All he literally has to do is just get it over the defender that's right in his said face. It's like throwing a floater. But I agree. He was good. Earned the quarterback job. I mean, what else were you going to do? Roll out there with Stidham? Like, no. 24-year-old's got to play. Chris, what did you think of all said rookie quarterbacks? And can we get a estimated time frame of when you'll be on the Drake May bandwagon as well?
Oh, never. I replaced Drake May fandom with all in on Caleb Williams. And I still had to save some room for JF1 breakout Cam Newton season on the way. So just no room for Drake May, unfortunately. But I will say, Bo Nix showed me something because I didn't even know. From what I was hearing about him in the draft and whatever else, I was like, bro, is he going to be just overly terrible? And he hasn't been terrible just yet. He's been okay. Now, it is preseason. I get that. I get teams aren't showing everything. I get that. But I think rookie quarterbacks preseason is a good telling point of how they could start off just because it's their first real taste of NFL football for real. And I think the rookie quarterbacks all perform well enough. I don't think anybody was like horrible or anybody was like, oh yeah, we probably shouldn't have picked this guy at this point. I think everybody did enough to solidify, the confidence that their teams have in them and drafting them. I hate that JJ McCarthy got hurt because he's one I was really looking forward to seeing like how he would do because I'm a big Jettis fan, as everybody in the world is. So I just would want to see what he had. Hopefully he comes back healthy and better than ever because the leg injuries are always horrible, but especially for quarterbacks, just with their mobility and everything. But I'm impressed. I was happy to see Jaden Daniels, who was my guy in the draft, the guy I liked pretty much the most. I'm happy to see him doing well. Just working that Commanders offense with Austin Eckler back there. Every once in a while, he's going to be on his team. So, Brandon Ayuk, please. But yeah, other than that, I'm just happy to see the guys just figuring it out. And I think the last thing I'll end it off with is the reason I became a Caleb Williams fan isn't even of course, I'm watching Hard Knocks. I love to watch all behind the scenes shit. It's cool to me for all sports. I just think it's dope. But seeing like the amount of pressure on this kid, like in reality, like he's supposed to come and change his franchise tomorrow. Like, they're saying, like, you're supposed to be the guy, take us to the Super Bowl. And I feel like the way he's embracing it isn't in a cocky way. It's just, I'm confident. I know why you guys think I'm supposed to be the savior, and I'm going to show you. And I really respect that a lot about him, as far as you could tell, not just in his talk, but how he plays the game, how he goes about it. He's very cerebral, too, something I didn't really know because, like I said, I didn't watch him as much as everyone else in USC. But he's very cerebral, and I feel like his confidence is going to spill over into that team, and I think that's going to be really, really good for them. So just excited to see just how all these guys' first years kind of play out, because we've seen an incredible first year by CJ Stroud last year. So casuals are going to make that like the bar for every rookie quarterback. So I just kind of want to see just how they all fare, but I think they had a really good start.
I'm so glad that Herbert's rookie year, I'm glad the Chargers didn't make the playoffs, because if they did, even CJ Stroud's season would pale in comparison, because Herbert had the numbers, the team just wasn't winning. But if the team was winning and he had the numbers, oh my God, like you would never be able to be a rookie quarterback again. Like you could never just be normal. So
Oh, one more thing. And it's not a rookie quarterback, but I'm happy to see Aaron Rodgers back on the field, healthy. Just because, I mean, Achilles injuries are ridiculously horrible in any sport, and seeing him be out there moving pretty springy. And I'm a big Garrett Wilson fan. I want him to do well, and I know Garrett Wilson doing well is tied to Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, that was dope to kind of see them making connections and stuff. In training camp and sometimes on the field too. So
I feel that. So yeah, with Bo Nix, Danny was saying, you were saying, I think Sean Payton has just been putting him in the best position, giving him what he's good at. Slants, deep shots, just get the ball out quick. Just for now. But eventually he's going to have to, hop in his bag, be able to hit like a 5-step drop, hit the top of his drop and let one rip over the middle or, between two defenders, stuff like that. But yeah, I would say as for like other rookies, who else has even played? I mean, Roma Duze hasn't been like the biggest weapon in that Bears offense. He's kind of been looking to commit and DJ Moore a lot, I'd say. But he did have that really good catch, which was the other end of Caleb's ridiculous throw. Malik Neighbors is ridiculous. I don't care who his quarterback is. I still have him getting 1,000 yards this year. He's just so special. He's such a special player. And while I do think Rome is better, Malik Neighbors is just in the better situation to just be like the better. He's going to have the better numbers. He's going to be the better fantasy football player, things like that. So I'm very excited for Malik Neighbors this year, regardless of who's at quarterback. And my last thing, again, not a rookie, Derek Stingley, welcome to the top 5 club. Officially top 5. That might have been, maybe I'm way overdue, but he's nice. He's nice. I just had to put that out there. We got anything else on preseason?
GG's to my boy Denzel Ward with another concussion. I just seen that. Like I think it says like his 5th reported one in like since
5 years.
Yeah, it's just sad to see. I mean, every time he's on the field, he's pretty good in my opinion from what I've seen. And I didn't know he was only 27. I mean, obviously I knew he wasn't 35, but like, damn, that's just messed up that those are just keeping him off the field with how much talent he has and everything.
Yeah, I've seen mashed potatoes more in contact than his brain. So, yeah, prayers up though. Yeah, concussions are super, super scary things. But yeah, do we have anything else before we get on out of here?
No, I don't have anything else. Unless you want to do a trivia game.
Nah, we can hold on to it. We can hold on to it. Just for next time. But thank you guys for tuning in. Again, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're listening to this on audio platforms. Leave a 5-star like and review. Make sure you download if you really enjoyed the episode. From AP, New Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.